Okay guys, stand by everyone. Duncan, do you want to kick us off? Duncan back.
Yeah, hey Warren, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Duncan.
Could you just talk us through the swing, please, from the first half to the second half? What was your message to the players at half time?
The message at half time was really, we're still in the arm wrestle. We just, if Dan Biggard kicked that penalty 12-6, so, we're down 12-3 and kind of just said we're giving away a few soft penalties, allowed them opportunities. Let's keep our patience, let's stay in that arm wrestle. We will get chances, don't try and force things. And I thought that second half went on, we got stronger and stronger and got ourselves back into the game. And but it was a really tough, tight test match, and bounce to the ball it could have got anyway. And thankfully, we've come from behind and finished really strongly. And I thought the last few minutes we were excellent.
Did you feel like you were in control in that second half? Although it was very tight on the scoreboard, you did seem to be on the ascendancy.
Yeah, I just thought we started to get some dominance in our forward carries, and obviously the try from the maul was pretty important. Scrum stabilised, and we got a bit of dominance there. I just thought we started to, once we started to take them through some phases, particularly if we got on the front foot, we looked like they conceded a penalty. They conceded a number of penalties in a row in that second half, and that was the kind of the message. And if we didn't get any front football, it was then just about a game management. It just sometimes when we went to the air and probably in that second half we started to get a couple of balls that came back on our side, or a couple of knock-ons from them. So they were big moments for us too. But then we put ourselves under pressure a few times by getting the ball back and then shifting a couple of poor passes that put us under pressure. So we just need to tidy that area up too.
So with South Africa 1-0 down in the series, what are you expecting from them in the second test?
They'll be, from them it was both teams. You look at it and go, it's a bounce of the ball, could have gone any way. A couple of calls as well, and if they'd been different, might have affected the result. We were really happy with the way that we defended. We didn't think that they'd created a lot of attacking opportunities, and like I said, that last passage of play, we were coming off their line, making big tackles, and they weren't going anywhere. But they'll be hurt from this because they're an incredibly proud nation and world champions, and so next week's going to be even bigger and tougher, I would expect. But from our point of view, it's you win that first one and you're going to, no matter what happens, you're going to the last weekend of the series. So that keeps everyone engaged and really interested in it. The message to the players, it wasn't just about the 23. This is an incredibly tight group of players that have, and the non-23 did a brilliant job this week in helping that Test 23 prepare. And so it was the victory was as much about them and the whole squad than just the guys who took the field.
Thank you, Warren. Cheers.
Yes.
Hi, Warren. A similar question. If you dented their ego in the South Africa A game, which you lost, what do you think you would have done psychologically to them in the second half, and what do you do next week to prepare for the backlash?
I don't know. I made that comment in terms of hoping that they would just come harder at us in those areas. I didn't really want them to vary their game too much. So it wasn't so much about denting their ego. It was about us getting confidence from certain aspects of the game. So I thought our line-out was excellent today, and the scrum looked like it was under a little bit of pressure at the start of the game, and we eased into it, and we ended up with a couple of scrum penalties too. So they're going to keep working hard as a group, and they will continue to improve in those areas. And for us, we feel like there's a lot more in us too. I just thought from conditioning side, we look like we're just getting stronger and stronger, and are able to keep the intensity and keep the pace going for the whole 80 minutes, and that's a really pleasing aspect of how hard we've worked over the last 6 weeks or so.
And a quick assessment of Mario Toge and Courtney Law's performance, especially Courtney, who was obviously a guy you only included the sort of last minute in the squad.
Oh, I thought he was brilliant. I just thought his line-out stuff was good. Some great carries and footwork. Murray's had one turnover, a carry where he's probably gone in too high, but he's worked incredibly hard. I just thought those players they will put in a really big shift, and then I thought the bench was great for us. I thought the impact of our bench was probably more significant than their bench was, and that was pleasing, and then the energy from the rest of the staff and the players in the stands in terms of encouraging our boys, and any turnovers or anything that was positive was immense as well.
Good evening, Warren. It's Kaniso here from Sport 24. With the Boks having issues with COVID leading into the test match, do you feel that they were slightly underdone actually leading into the game, and it started to show in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, look, they've had their own challenges with players not taking a full part in training and stuff, and they've only had a couple of games together, and a little bit like us, at times you got limited preparation, you're playing 2 games a week, it's quite hard in preparing for internationals. They came out really strongly out of the blocks in that first half and put us under a bit of pressure, so I expect that they will be a lot stronger in the next 2 matches. They'll be pleased with the way they started, but probably not so happy with their second half performance. But they'll be like us. They'll go back and look to work and improve on things for next week.
And one more from my side. Do you offer I know it's easy to speak when you're from the winning side, but do you feel that some of the decisions from Nick Berry did kind of sway towards the Lions?
No.
James?
Hi Warren, it's James from Planet Rugby. Congratulations on the win, you must be delighted. Quick one from me, half time. Who was giving the message out to the team, and what were the key points that you were making to the guys? Certainly the discipline, the aerial work and the exit strategy worked a lot better. Who was giving the key messages? Yeah,
just at half time we normally give the guys some time to. We don't go in with messages straight away, just some, they rehydrate and take some fluids on, give them a bit of time to gather their thoughts, and then the forwards and backs will meet as units, and then Tandy will deliver something from defence, and Gregor will talk about attack stuff, and then I finished off with some points. And so, the message from me was that we're still in this arm wrestle, even though we're down. Just keep our composure. We'll get some opportunities in the second half, and when we do get some opportunities, we spoke about, if we got easy 3 points in front of the post, let's take the 3 points. If it was a bit wide or a bit longer out or a bit closer to the touchline, then to put them into the corner and squeeze them that way. Also spoke about some of the soft penalties that we'd given away in the first half, and making sure that our discipline was better in the second half, which it was, and just being a bit more accurate with our kicking game, and looking to get some of the scraps from that aerial battle, and I think that sort of turned for us in that second half.
And that's the kick to touch for the line out, that was an actual conscious decision? We actually discussed the possibility of that at half time, yeah?
Sorry, what was that?
The kick for touch.
Yes, yeah. We wanted to. We kind of felt that we weren't. They were the same. They never really got into our 22 and put us under pressure. And we felt that with a couple of those penalties, we wanted to get them to the 22 and really look to keep them down there and to pressurise them and to try and get some points from that. And so, we mauled exceptionally well. I thought, particularly that second half, it got a couple of penalty opportunities and have scored a try. So yeah, it's just about getting that balance right between, you know, when you take your 3 points and even though it's 3 points, it does relieve a lot of pressure on them, and that's a decision the players make at the time, and you know, the captain makes that. And I mean, Dan Biggers in that first half missed what for him would be considered a reasonably easy penalty to close the gap to 12-6, and then we've had a long shot with Elliot Daly, and so that, yeah, it was just a little bit of a change of message at half time about when we do get a chance to put them under pressure by kicking into their 22, let's look at doing that.
Hi Warren, I'm Luis Chiesa from ESPN Argentina. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
In the first half, the South African forwards pack became strong, and in the second half, the Lions were able to dominate. What do you think of the great performances, particularly from Courtney Loss and Mari Toje?
Yeah, I thought both of them were outstanding. I thought Courtney carried exceptionally well. He was strong. The big thing was when we started to get some ball on the front foot, it just stopped a little bit of their line speed. We were able to play through some phases, and we got some reward from that. I thought Maro was immense as well. You know, both of them had outstanding games, and yeah, it was a key for us really. I thought we made some good decisions when to bring the replacements on, and they all had a big impact for us coming off the bench too. But you know, definitely Courtney and Maro's impact was significant.
Hi Warren, congrats on the win. Jack Conan told us earlier this week that it was going to be the biggest game that he's played of his career. How did you think he stepped up to the mark?
Jack did what he does do well, and the reason we picked him, he doesn't make mistakes. He's incredibly accurate. He takes those kickoffs. He's got some good footwork. He got us some go forward, and does a lot of the unspectacular stuff that you need in a forward pack to get the balance right. You know, you got guys who, you know, carry a bit more and stuff, and so we were really pleased with his performance, and it was, you know, incredibly solid. So you know, he's continued to improve and improve in this environment. He's like a sponge in terms of gaining knowledge. He asks really, really good questions. He takes on information well. So like, we're really pleased with his development. I've just seen him. I know the first game he played, he was incredibly nervous and about the first hit out, and he's one of those players that does get pretty nervy before a game. But this week he seemed a lot calmer and a lot more assured, and I think, you know, that's given him a lot of confidence and self-belief in himself and his own performances.
Hi Warren, that's your fourth test win as the Lions head coach now. Where does that rank in terms of being special for you, especially looking at the fact that all the uncertainty with this tour, all the COVID stuff going around it? How does that rank for you? Yeah,
look, it's definitely up there. I mean, any Lions test victory is special. For us, you know, it's been a challenge, and you know, we've worked hard, and for me, having been down points and stuff, and been under a little bit of pressure, and just keeping our composure and fighting our way back into the game, that was the most pleasing thing, and just how strong we continued to grow in the game, and so, you know, to beat the world champions first up in their own backyard is, you know, it is really, really special.
Johnny?
Yeah, sorry. Hi, Warren. What do you make of the pitch? It's looking kind of like a bit cut up on that left-hand side from up here. Are you happy with that? I mean, there was a few scrums that seemed to go down.
Yeah, but I think that's the way that the pitch is. It is quite slippery in terms of players holding their feet and that, and even though it was a lovely day here and it was dry when we arrived, sort of you get about 6 or 7 o'clock and it starts to get quite slippery and dewy. So it's not the easiest pitch to scrummage on, and that, and players have got to hold their feet and get their feet under them, but it's like everywhere probably in the Southern Hemisphere when you start in winter time, you get nice days, but the pitches do tend to get quite slippery and dewy in the evening.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Warren.
Are they on?
Yeah.
So who's this?
This is basically, there's about 50 journalists more. Duncan Beck, do you want to kick us off, mate? He's gone.
Hello, congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you just talk us through how that game unfolded, the big swing from the first half to the second half?
Well, the first half, we came out with a decent intensity, but not probably the intensity that we needed to. But most importantly, or to our detriment, we were giving away a lot of silly penalties. We weren't really being as disciplined as we needed to be. And the second half, we kind of just flipped it on its head, where we came out with a higher intensity, and we kept our discipline a lot more. And as a result, we were able to put a little bit more pressure on them.
Sure. So what was said at half-time to enable you to make that sort of dramatic change in performance?
Well, we just had to trust ourselves a bit more, trust ourselves, trust our systems, and increase the intensity. At halftime, obviously, we were 12-3 down. So, often when you're in that kind of situation, you have two choices: either continue doing what you're doing and just watch the scoreboard get away from you, or try and pull up your sleeves and try and turn it around. And we tried to do the latter, and fortunately for us, it was successful.
Were you surprised at just how much control you did have in that second half? It seemed to get stronger as the half went on, although it was tight on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess our conditioners have done a great job. We've worked pretty hard here in South Africa, behind the scenes. So yeah, our conditioners did a great job, and we back ourselves to at least play for the full 80. So I don't think anything was too much of a surprise, but we just had to show a bit more faith in our ability than we did in the first half.
What do you think there is to come from South Africa now in the second test, now that they're 1-0 down?
South Africa, they're a very proud rugby nation. From what I know about them is that they're big on analysis. I think they're going to analyse that game a lot. They'll pick out trends, pick out ways in which they can improve, but I think they're just going to come with a higher intensity. So they're going to come harder at the scrum, they're going to come harder at the line out, they're going to come harder with their kicking game. That's probably where they got they got the most change out of us today, so they'll probably look to attack that. So we need to be better in all three of those areas. We need to be cleaner, we need to be more efficient, and especially with our kicking game and our breakdown, we need to do a lot better.
And do you feel there is another level to come from you guys as well?
Yes, definitely. I think, as you know, the first half we didn't start with the intensity, and we were probably a little bit too frantic. So I think there's so much growth in this team. I think game on game we're getting better. We're learning lessons. So I think there's more to come from us, but you know, the onus is on us to look at what we've done. You know, obviously today was a great win, but you know, I'm a man that likes to look at history and see how other tours have unfolded, and you know, looking at the 2001 Test series in I think it's 2001 Australia. Anyway, whenever it was, they won the first Test quite convincingly. Then it went on to lose the next two. So you know, we're happy. We don't want to get lost in the sauce. We're happy with the win today, but we know that we need to do more. We need to be better next week. Otherwise, you know, the Springboks we know they're coming. So we need to be better. We need to be stronger, and hopefully get the result we want next week.
Thanks, Murray.
Thank you.
Murray, it's James here. Courtney and yourself will be making the headlines tonight, but between you there was an old man called Alan Wynne-Jones. What was it like to have the guy back? And what was he saying to you, especially during that second half?
Yeah, Alan Wynne, as you all know, is a very experienced player. I thought Courtney was fantastic today as well. Alan Wynne, I thought he was very good. And it was just a lot of small talk, a lot of staying in the fight, staying in the battle. There was a lot of not, you know, just keep working hard, have faith in what we're doing, and just, you know, being disciplined within that.
Mara, hi, Neil Squires here. Can I just ask you what it was like playing such a huge match, an event with nobody there? Do you actually lose that fact as you play in the game, or did it feel eerie?
If I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's of course different. It's undeniable that it's different. Like if this was in normal times, Cape Town would be absolutely bouncing. I'm sure the stadium would be rocking. I'm sure they would have thought there was an earthquake happening or something. And I've played, as you all know, we've played in a lot of empty stadiums throughout the Six Nations, through the Autumn Nations Cup, through our clubs. But this feels different. The intensity of the Lions tour feels different, and there's a different type of vibe. So quite sad that there's no fans in the stadium, but the intensity in which these games are played is different. So you probably don't. Obviously, you miss the fans, but what I'm trying to say is this game is played at a real high intensity, so you don't necessarily. The effect of not having fans is not as great in these games as it is for your club games or games I've played in the past.
Hi, Mary. Gobin here. Hi. Just wondering where you'd place that win amongst other ones you've enjoyed during your career, if you could compare it with other great occasions you've been part of. Winning a Test match for the Lions is rare. You only play once every 4 years, and it's unique. But this win means nothing unless we go out and win next week. So this is a great win. I'm proud to be a part of this match, but we know that we need to do a job next week for this win to really count.
Hi Maro, Katie here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I just ask, can you shed any light on Alan Wynne-Jones's pre-match speech or anything he may have said at half-time or how vocal he was on the pitch during that game?
He was very vocal. He was very vocal. You know, Alan Wynne is a high energy senior citizen. He's a high energy man, so he was very vocal. But you know, for occasions like this, you don't really need to talk too much. You don't really need to talk too much. You just need to, and I think he read the room, read the environment, and read what needed to be said, and he said the appropriate things at the appropriate times.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very well done. Just a quick one. How did you feel that the line out went and the scrum, you know, particularly after Warren just said there was quite a bit of dew on the pitch, but how did you feel it went?
Well, I think both areas got better as the game went on. There were some, you know, little errors in the first half, which we're able to tidy up in the second half. But both scrum and line-up, from our point of view, got better as the game went on.
Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks, Mike.
Cheers.
Okay, Pat, do you want to kick us off, mate?
Hey, Alan, how's it going? Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just wanted to start off with yourself and how you're feeling personally. A lot of people might have had doubts that would you be able to last the pace of the game, but there you were still playing out to the very end. Like, how do you feel yourself after the end of all that?
I feel like I've been in a test match, but I've had those doubts for a considerable time within my career, so I'm used to them.
Maro was in before you. He called you a high-energy senior citizen, but I'm sure it was meant as a compliment. What are some of the boys saying to you at the end of that game? Because it is a real inspiration, you coming back and leading them in that first test.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but I think any kudos, however way, shape or form it comes from Maz, I'll take. But no, I think my effort was born out of getting back into this group. Obviously, I didn't know I was going to be selected, but I'm happy to be a part of it, like I say, and add to the energy that the guys brought today.
Cheers.
Alan, it's James. At the pre-tour presser, you said to me about the importance of going into the test matches hot. You went in lukewarm, switched the kettle on, and came out boiling. How did that happen?
That's a new one, but I think I understand the context. No, I think we've seen threads of what we can do throughout the games leading up to it. Obviously, there were questions after the SAA game, and again, we probably posed a few of those questions the way we played early on in those early exchanges, and came through the pressure we saw or felt in that middle third, in the game. The set piece became prevalent as well, so we can be pleased, but there's definitely bits to work on from the early part of that game.
Katie.
Hi, Alan Wayne, Katie here. Hope you're well. Congratulations. Can I just ask about the non-test players then in the stadium? Have they had a chance to come in and congratulate the players yet? And what's their reaction really? It must be a bit bittersweet for those players.
Well, everybody's been a part of this from the start of the tour, and they still are. The squad wins a series, and that's no way, shape or form been diluted in the way we'll enjoy this evening. And obviously the focus that will come pretty quick Sunday and Monday, and we're straight back into it. But, everyone's a part of this, and that's to the fore, and that's been the mission statement from Gats from the off.
Ken.
Thanks, Luke. Hi, Alan Wynne. Congratulations on your win. You did touch on it that the first half really didn't go very well for you guys. Outstanding second half, though. How did you guys turn it around? What was the chat in the change room at halftime?
We were pretty composed. Obviously, we were, I wouldn't say disappointed, probably more frustrated in the fact we put a pressure on ourselves. Our kicking game got a bit better, our aerial game definitely improved, and like I said earlier, the set piece became a bit of a focal point for both teams in that second half, and it was essentially do what we were doing better and execute better, and like I say, not put pressure on ourselves, and we were able to do that, and kept the scoreboard ticking over.
Hi, Alan Wynne. Knowing what you know about Lions tours, is the message now to finish the job next week, not allow it to go to a third test, finish it in 2?
Excuse me. Well, you want to win every game, whether it's domestic, international, Lions. We know what we've achieved today, but we also know what we haven't achieved. There's still plenty to do. This is a 3-test series. Knowing the caliber of player and the attitude our opposition have, that's going to go through the roof next week, and we have to be better again. First and foremost, looking at ourselves, but also to deal with what we know is going to come next week.
Last one, Jace.
Yeah, hi, Alan Wynne. Just following up there on your answer there. I mean, yes, of course, the job's only 50% done, but is it important tonight that you have a few beers and relax and chill out and before you get back on to tomorrow and Monday?
Yeah, most definitely. I think there were smiles after the game. I think I've been involved in this sport, and I think it applies to any sport that in sort of moments like this, you have to enjoy them. They don't come around very often. But the caveat to that is we are only a third done. And that message has already been planted. But it's a time for, everyone to take stock of where we are, ready to move on, like I say, to next week.
Cheers. Thanks. Congrats again.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks, Alvin.